Assalamu alaikum and welcome back, sisters. You're watching Women's AM. I'm your host Ayan, and joining us on the panel today we have our sister Zainab, Hassana and our special guest sister Tayyiba. And right up next is our next segment, The Other Half. In this segment, the sisters take a look at a dilemma that is faced by a sister. So the sister has wrote in today and she says, me and my husband don't get to spend much time together, so what tips or advice can you give me on having some quality time with my husband?
I'm just going to jump in there. It's a bit of a tricky one, to be honest. Coming from the point of view of someone who's not married, so I think it's you know, before you get married, you have this kind of maybe this impression, this rose-tinted glass impression of the fact that you're going to be spending so much of your time together. You'll be stuck at the hip and things like that, and that's not the reality. I think you have to understand that obviously you've got stuff to get on with. He'll have stuff to get on with, and it is going to be about making the most of the time that you do have. And I think that's important to establish even before you get married. So I think this subject is not just kind of restrained to people that are married. It's something we all should be thinking about, really. I think definitely in terms of having quality time with someone, whether that's with your husband or your family or whoever it is, I think what's important is to kind of establish the fact that you've got different interests and the other person will have different interests, and it's about finding something mutual that you both enjoy, or even trying something different that you can both kind of get into. So I know, one of my friends, she went on a cooking class with her husband, and they actually turned out to really enjoy it, and it's something they go back to quite often. I'm not sure if that's improved her cooking skills.
That's something different. I've not heard that before. Yeah, but it's not about being joined at the hip. I mean, Zainab, mashallah, you can give us from the married perspective. What can the sister do?
This is quite difficult because different people's lives are different. There are different reasons why. If you get husbands who, subhanAllah, have to work abroad for 6 months in the year, I mean, how are you going to, it's quite difficult apart from talking as much as you can and Skyping and all these kind of issues. It's very difficult. But I think most issues in life tend to come down to efficiency and organisation and how we actually use the time that we have. So this is probably more of an issue for the couples that have kids, for example, because kids will dominate almost all of your time. So part of it is kind of just getting used to the idea that you'll have a little bit less time. With a lot less time with each other, but then when you do have that time, making it good time. So this whole thing of, texting away or being distracted in any, I know that's one thing that drives me absolutely crazy. No matter who I'm with, if if I've got an hour with someone, I want to have an efficient, communication with that person, and otherwise you might as well not be there, isn't it?
Yeah, because you lose that bond, isn't it? I mean, Sister Tayyiba, what advice can you give the sister?
I would say sometimes it can feel like you're losing that barakah in the marriage. So bring it back to the deen. And, even if it means pray one salah together and just start from that. And slowly you will see that you will have some sort of quality time coming forward. Maybe you might decide to read one page of the Quran together. And something like that, it doesn't take a lot of time. But it's about the quality. And so I would say if you bring, it's about bringing that barakah back into the marriage. And inshallah, you bring that barakah back, you will have that time.
MashaAllah, yeah, because once you go back to the worship of Allah, inshallah, Allah will make things right for you, and also it increases that love that you have for each other, because the fact that you're coming closer together just by worshipping Allah is it's a great act on its own. But what advice I would give also is to make sure that the sister's also fulfilled in her own sort of whatever time that she has on her own as well, and not to get caught up in I want to be with my husband all the time, because the thing is that you need a bit of fulfillment in your own life and what's going on for yourself, so that when you're with your husband you can better appreciate that time as well. Yeah, so that you're not kind of suffocating each other as well. So jazakallah khair, sister, for all the tips and advice, and hopefully this is something that the sister can take on. Unfortunately, it's the end of the show, but before we do go, here's another reminder of this week's competition.
This week on Women's AM, we are holding an exciting competition for you sisters out there. Up for grabs are these fabulous items. We have the Cacao Orchard Abaya and cream embroidery scarf from Khimar Online. To be in with a chance to win these goodies, all you have to do is answer the following question. What is the mosque surrounding the Kaaba known as? A. Masjid al-Nabawi, B. Masjid al-Aqsa, C. Masjid al-Haram. To enter, email your answer A, B or C to womensam@islamchannel.tv, along with your name and address and what you most like about Women's AM. The deadline for the entry is Friday the 21st of February 2014 at 4 p.m. All applicants need to be over 18 and residing in the UK. Please note, only one entry per household. A winner will be randomly selected from all correct entries and the winner's name will be announced on Monday's show.
Please do email us with comments and suggestions to make the show the best it can be, and we'll read out a few at the end of the week, inshallah. So continue striving to be the best that you can be, and may Allah keep us on her straight path. So from us, the sisters here on the panel, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.